Hey YouTube family, thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. My name is Jade. I'm going to be your yoga teacher for this practice today. If you are returning to my YouTube channel, welcome back. If you're new, hello, and please subscribe. It would be great to have you as part of our community. So this practice today is a yoga for stress and anxiety. So there's quite a few inversions in here today, which is where your heart is higher than your head, but they're quite gentle beginner inversions, we should say. So yeah, in something comfy, let's go. Okay, let's begin by being seated for today's practice. I'm going to find a cross-legged seated pose, finding a pose that feels right for you here, okay? I'm going to interlace the hands, so my hands are coming together and just resting the hands into my lap, palms of the hands face up towards the ceiling. Soften those shoulders, make some space between the shoulders and the ears, taking the eye gaze low towards the ground and just slowly starting to draw our awareness inwards and to close off our senses from any distractions going on around us. So grabbing this moment all together at the beginning of our practice to remember this is your time. This is your time here on the mat to explore your physical body, to be aware of your breath, and to bring the body and mind back together. I'm going to take the hands, gently place them onto the belly, and not changing anything here, simply observing the breath, noticing the natural rise and fall of the belly underneath your hands. And then take the hands, interlacing them, still placing them behind the head. Now we're going to control the breath and move the body together. So we inhale as we take the eye line up towards the ceiling, opening through heart center. Now exhale really slowly as you gently bring the chin to the chest, curve the back and find a little C shape, a cat pose here. Let's do that again. So we're inhaling, take the eye line up, elbows wide, opening through the chest so you can really expand through the belly, the lungs here. And then exhaling as we curve off, making sure we're getting a nice little mobility for the neck at the beginning part of this video today. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, moving with your breath. So that will be at your pace, in your own time. Exhaling as we curve over, we release, possibly pausing here as we gently invite the chin towards the chest. Unraveling, taking the eye line forwards and then slowly bringing the right hand down to the ground as we inhale, gaze up past the left elbow, opening through the left side body. And then easing off with that hand and gently bringing the left hand down to the ground. Side bend here as you look up past the right elbow, breathing into that right rib cage. And then carefully bring those arms all the way up and over. Let's come over onto all fours, taking your time, coming onto your hands and knees. Exhaling into our cat pose, chin to chest, rounding the spine. And then inhaling as we tilt the pelvis. Eye line looks forwards and we open through heart center. Exhaling, mobilizing through the spine. Inhaling as we tilt the pelvis, shoulder blades coming towards one another. One more time here, starting to get the movements a little bit bigger maybe as we become more in tune with the body. Finding our way into our child's pose, bottom towards the heels as the arms glide forwards and the forehead slowly comes down towards the ground. Taking a few big rounds of breath into the back chain of the body now. Inhaling through the nose, big 360 breath, and exhaling as you allow yourself to sink deeper into your child's. Slowly slide the hands in. We're coming to a kneeling pose as we rest the hands onto the thighs. Cat and cow again. Inhaling as we look up, open through the throat. Exhaling as we curve the back, round the spine, slide the hands towards the knees. Inhaling as we open, we tilt. A slight arch, and exhaling as we curve off. This time, let's inhale as we open up, slide the hands all the way behind us, interlace them together and try to extend the arms off the back now. Really taking the eye line diagonally up, opening through the chest. Keeping the arms as they are, carefully bring your chin towards your chest as you curl your body forwards. We're going to bring the top of the head, so the very crown of the head, onto the mat as we lift our bottom, bringing the knees and the hips in line with one another, and keep sweeping those arms, the thumbs, over. So you're bringing the chin towards the chest here, stimulating the thyroid, and coming into our first slight inversion of today's practice. So you can see here, the head is lower than the heart. At any point you need to come out of these before me, please feel free to come back into child's pose whenever you're ready. We'll then all come together and rolling onto the forehead, coming back down into a child's pose, releasing the hands, letting the hands just naturally drop by your feet. Take a big exhale as you allow the shoulders to sink closer towards the ground, and just simply start to observe how that first inversion has made you feel. Bringing the hands, sliding them all the way back forwards into your child's pose. Now lifting the bottom for an extended puppy. So guide the arms forwards, allow the chest to sink down towards the ground as the hips stay over the knees here once again. You're pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. We'll then allow ourselves to ripple forwards for a Sphinx pose. Start to feel a little bit of heat through the shoulders as we ground down through the forearms, eye lines looking diagonally forwards. Feeling quite powerful, really present as we lift our chest, shine our heart light forwards here. Carefully control back down onto the mat, sliding the hands underneath you. Inhale as we come into a cobra, letting the hips sink heavy to the ground as we take the eye line forwards once again. And then leading with the hips, coming into a downward facing dog. Now again, this is another inversion. So let's pause here for a moment. Let the heels fall heavy to the ground, lift the tailbone high, easing the chest through the arms. And then with control, we're going to find a dolphin. So I'm going to carefully bend my elbows, bring the forearms onto the ground, and then walk the feet in closer towards your elbows. Let the heels fall heavy, ease the chest through, and find a dolphin pose here. Quite powerful for the shoulders. Think about engaging through the core, tilting that tailbone, slowing down the breath. And then walking the feet back, lots of tiny little steps until you can come down onto your knees, uncurl your toes and find a child's pose once again. Take a bit of a sigh out here, maybe through the mouth as you find your way back into this beautiful child's pose. Take a moment to reset, to regroup. When you're ready to move, only at your own pace, we lift the bottom, tucking the toes under, finding that downward facing dog once again, so easing the chest through the arms. Going to sweep the left leg up for a three-legged downward facing dog here. And then bringing the left knee through towards the chest, we're going to step through for a high lunge. So stepping the left foot in between the hands, press that right heel away from you. And once you feel ready to, sweep the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Let's pause here, hands over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and head over heart. So kind of giving our body time to regroup, to reset, to find that focus. Now we're going to slowly float the hands down as we straighten the left leg, trying to bring the hands down in the direction of the ground and fold the body over that left leg again. So once again, we're coming down with the head. So this is a really wide pyramid stance, so your back heel won't be on the ground. Yeah, back heel's not on the ground. Taking a beautiful breath as you fold over, think nose to knee pose. And then bending into the left leg once again. We're going to bring the right knee onto the floor. Slide that right knee in further to the left foot as you relax the right toes. Now we're going to sit back onto our bottom. So I've taken my right foot out towards the left so that I can sit back onto my bottom. And now bring that left foot, cross it all the way over the right thigh. We're in seated twist pose. Try and keep your bottom on the ground. Wrap the right arm around the left thigh and ground the left hand close to your bottom so you can gaze over your left shoulder. Take a moment here as well to regroup, head over heart. Feel that space through the spine. Try and keep both bottom cheeks on the ground. And then we'll come back through to center, one hand either side of you. The left foot's going to step forwards and we're going to slowly press off. We're making our way back into that low lunge and then stepping back into the high lunge whenever you're ready. Once we are here, let's step back, downward facing dog. Ease into this pose. Go deeper, deeper every time. Then sweeping the right leg up, three-legged downward facing dog. The right knee comes through towards the chest as we step the right foot in between the hands, finding that high lunge. Sink the hips close to the mat. Once you feel steady, sweeping the arms up, finding our high lunge. Exhale as you sink deeper into this pose. Feel that space through the spine, that tension kind of dripping away from the body. We then start to extend the front leg as we float the hands down to the ground. Remember, the left heel won't be on the floor. It's too wide a variation. But we can fold the body over that right leg, nose to knee pose as we let ourselves dive over. Slowing down the breath, taking your time, opening up through those hamstrings. Bending back into the right leg for our high lunge, putting the left knee down. Remember, we slide that left knee in closer as we relax the left foot. Take the left foot out to the right as we sit back onto our bottom, and then the right foot slides and steps over the left. Wrap the left arm around, gazing over the right shoulder, our seated twist pose. Feeling that space. Feeling quite settled, quite present here. Before guiding our arms back through to center, opening, stepping the right foot forwards, shifting our weight back into the low lunge, and then making our way into high lunge. From here, we're actually going to step the left foot to the top of the mat. So we come into a standing forward fold. Feet are parallel, knees soft. Take hold of your forearms, framing the head. Taking a beautiful sigh out through the mouth and simply be here. A beautiful inversion where we just dangle. We're able to let go. There's no tension. There's no pressure on the back of the body. We simply dangle to wherever our body allows us to go. Feeling that boost, feeling that improved circulation moving around the body. And then gently releasing the hands, bending your knees generously so you make your way all the way onto your bottoms, taking your time. Use your hands for support to bring yourself down onto your back. Make sure you've got some space on the ground behind you. We're going to come over into a supported shoulder stand. Okay, so we're going to bring the knees into the chest. Please don't do this if you have any issues with your neck or upper back. And once you are up there, please make sure you're not turning your head side to side. From here, I'm going to ease the knees towards the chest as I bring my hands onto my lower back. So my elbows are supporting my weight. So my elbows are pressing into the ground. Lifting the hips up as high as you can. And then slowly, once your legs are straight, find a plow pose first. So that means my feet are coming towards the ground over my head. We might like to do a single shoulder stand first, which is where one leg kind of comes up towards the ceiling in that direction. Maybe have a play, do one leg at a time. Or you might be able to lift both legs up at the same time here, using the hands for support to keep the feet up over the hips, chins close to the chest. So this is a supported shoulder stand. You can have a play around one leg at a time, or you can stay in your plow pose with the feet on the ground overhead, coming back down to plow pose when you've finished in your shoulder stand, having a moment to play, to observe here, maybe doing it without the hands if you feel happy to. There's your chance to kind of explore. You might want to watch back that part of the video and then try it again once you feel comfortable with knowing where you're going to. And then carefully, with or without support, bending the knees and making your way all the way down onto your back. Gently bringing the feet down onto the ground when you're ready. Then what we're going to do is come into a fish pose. I'm going to take the hands and place them underneath my tailbone. So the palms of the hands are on the floor. From here, I'm going to straighten the legs. Now I'm going to walk my elbows together. So I'm kind of pressed up onto my elbows. You can see that it's made my lower back arch off the ground, and I'm opening up through the chest. And then if you're able to, you take the crown of the head, so the very top part of the head, and place it onto the mat so you're looking in the other direction to your feet. So I'm using my elbows to ground into the mat here to take that big arch through the lower back, to open through the chest and to open up through the throat as well. So maybe coming all the way into this fish pose or taking any variation that feels right for you. And then with support coming onto the back of the head and then taking the hands out from underneath you when you're ready. Or then slowly slide the knees in, hugging both knees in towards the chest. Let's just take a moment to settle the spine, the lower back, the head, the shoulders onto the ground. Now from here, if you do have a wall to hand, or if you don't have a wall, maybe even just a sofa or a chair to kind of rest your legs onto. It's very important you've got something to support your legs. I'm going to turn now so that I can do legs up the wall pose here. So from hugging those knees in towards the chest, I then would extend my legs up so they're rested on the wall. We can bring the arms by our sides, palms of the hands face up towards the ceiling. And then take a beautiful sigh out as you close the eyes, soften through the face, and allow yourself to simply be here. So please feel free to find a prop that works for you where you are. So maybe legs up the wall, or you could rest your legs onto the sofa or onto a chair, keeping them bent. That's okay too. Just exploring whatever you have to hand. And then once you're comfortable, once you're settled, let's again close off our senses from any distractions going on around you and draw all of your focus inwards. Being aware first, maybe taking a little body scan, switching off any areas of the body that you're still carrying some unnecessary tension. Might be the hands, the shoulders, could be through the back, the legs, the head, anywhere that you maybe think you can soften further. And then we bring our focus to our breathing. We're breathing in slowly, expanding through the belly, filling up all of this fresh new oxygen you're taking into the body. And then exhale, allow yourself to exhale slowly, completely, just sinking deeper and deeper into this final pose. Breathing in, observing, noticing, and exhaling, letting go, releasing, slowing down, and just softening. And grab this moment of feeling calm, feeling present, just simply being you. Making sure we move with control. We're going to slowly bend one knee at a time. And then carefully bring your hands onto your legs just so that you get that connection with the physical body again. And slowly roll yourself onto your sides. So coming off of your prop, bringing yourself onto your sides. And once you get there, give yourself a little hug, fluttering the eyes open, starting to be aware of the light and of the room around you. From here, we'll use our hands for support to bring our body weights up and carefully make our way into a seated pose whenever you're ready. Inhaling as we reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, bringing the hands into prayer and drawing those hands down through to heart center. Maybe saying in your minds or saying out loud, whatever works best for you. I feel calm. I feel connected. Sending lots of love and light to you and yours. Namaste.